All right, I just wanted to explain the article you were supposed to read last week. I apologize for anyone who may have emailed me. I was out of town from Wednesday through Sunday. Because you have a test on Wednesday this week, I just wanted to kind of go over the answers a little bit to see maybe where we went wrong or where we were on the right track. Now, your grade that you received is based upon completion. So if you did the majority of it or all of it, you got 5 points. Some of you got 6 points because I feel like you went above and beyond what was expected. Some of you got maybe got a 3 or a 2 because you didn't complete everything. And then some of you got a 0 because either you turned it in blank or you didn't do it at all. So please follow along with me so that you can kind of get a second example, because like I said, your test is on Wednesday, which will actually be for a grade. So you have to make sure you fill out all these things that are on the slide. So the first one is your signpost. Now remember, it said place the X on one box under the signpost. I moved my X to quoted words. Okay. Now, the example I chose was this. Quoted words are in the article because it states she has had pretty cool conversations with people because she could not use her cell phone. Now, that's a direct quote because I chose quoted words. Some of you, when you were explaining your signpost, you just put, there are quotes. Okay, obviously, if you're choosing quoted words, I would assume that you know there's quoted words in there, but you have to give me an example of at least one. So I just gave you one there. Some of you chose numbers and stats, and your response was there's numbers and stats. Once again, I get it, but just give me one example of a number and stat so that I know you know what number and stat is. Same thing for extreme language. If there's a sentence that has like best or always or never in there, just type out that sentence. And for the word gaps, choose a word that you feel like was a word gap, maybe a few of them. Contrast, contradiction, once again, give an example. It's better to have more than not enough. And some of you just put the X on there and never actually explained in the box. So keep that in mind. A lot of you also just put the X on there and didn't actually explain it. So no matter what you put, as long as if you can explain it correctly or defend your answer, you're probably going to get credit. So I chose problem and solution. The problem was obviously kids being on their cell phones, and the solution was yonder, those pouches that cell phones went into. Once again, I told you guys before, it's 1 point for the X, 1 point for the correct answer, and then another point for the complete sentences. So try your best to do all those things to get that full credit. Okay, moving on to 3 important facts or statistics. Okay, the first one that I put for this article was teachers have noticed an increase in anxiety over the past 5 years. 5 is a number or a statistic, so you could use that as a stat, or you could just say that's a fact. Second one that I chose was the school also saw a decrease in referrals for defiance and disrespect. So decrease is kind of like a number word, so you could use that as a statistic, or you could also just say that's a fact. The referrals went from here and they went down a little bit to make it decrease. And then finally, my third one is Yonder is a magnetic pouch system that allows students to lock their phones away. This is a fact. It's like probably the definition for what Yonder is. And then one opinion from the article. A lot of us are struggling with pulling out an opinion. If somebody is talking, 9 times out of 10, they're giving an opinion on something. So I just went ahead and used the example from Audrey. It says she is a fan. You can't see that, but she is a fan of Yonder. So I would assume she likes it if she's a fan. And then the last one is your opinion. Some of you said you like this article. Some of you said you didn't like this article. Totally fine as long as you can explain it. We're going to move on to the last slide here. A lot of you did not fill out the article title and the author. Now, these are 2 easy points on your test. If you don't do them, that you'll lose. Literally just type in the title. I put magnetic pouches, and then I put the author. Not super hard. You just have to make sure that you do it, that you see that that's up there. That's why I try to use purple writing so it would stick out. My main idea that I chose is students are struggling to not use their phone during school. Now, I'm pulling direct quotes from the article. I told you this before. You have to use direct quotes. So when you're pulling text evidence, you have to use quotations. Okay, so super simple. I just put, they are constantly telling students to put their phones away and stop texting. This is one of the first sentences in the article. Use my quotations, use the complete sentence. Second one that I chose was even if it's all of us talking about how much we hate it. And then I put three dots, which is called an ellipses because it was a longer sentence, but this is all that I needed to try and prove my main idea. And then finally, my last one that I chose is 9 out of 10 teens currently own or can use a smartphone. So this is just kind of proving that I'm assuming most kids are struggling with their phones during school because a lot of us have them. Most kids have a cell phone. Once again, this is not meant to be super hard. You're just pulling out key details. This is why you annotate when you read, because if you annotate, it makes it easier to find those main things that you need to find for your article, for your answers. If you have any further questions, please ask me because I don't want you to get to your test on Wednesday and freak out because you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm super confused. But I've given you an example that I did. I let you practice on your own, and then it's going to be a time for you to kind of show me what you can do without anybody's help besides your own. Like I said, if you have questions, email me. Otherwise, hopefully this explains some of the things that you were confused on.